Review the minutes. Does anyone have any comments they would like to make about the minutes? Seeing none, can I have a
Move
motion?
to accept.
Move to accept. Thank you. A second. All in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Thank you. They are approved. Now, just to remind people, if I remember correctly, Bisan, we voted that these minutes would now be available on the MMS website so other people can see them. So just to keep people aware of that.
Yes, and once they are published, I will send the link so you guys will see it.
Thank you. Okay. Next, item number 2, Board of Registration in Medicine updates. I hope people have received some emails, seen some stuff on the website, emails through the Medical Society as well as even directly if you're on the board's email list there, which we all should be because we get those messages, about the board having some updates that they have done to their regulations. And I know Bisan has some information that she would like to talk about that. Dr. Bomba also has a little presentation on the website. Before Bisan talks about that, does anyone have any questions or comments before we get started with that?
About the updates, I have many comments, but I'll wait till
I'll start because mine is the shortest. I just want to let everyone know that Dr. Mbamba, with our advocacy team, has been meeting with the board, I think probably every day.
Oh, good.
Last week and the past 2 weeks they have met. We've had a couple of asks, I would say. This is one of them. It's not official, so I might, if you want, I can circle around. It's not official. It's something that Brendan and Brendan is our lawyer, has put together for some of the asks regarding the informed consent and the delegation of medical services, among other. We had requested to get a guide or FAQ because there's none. There's only just an executive summary. And it was supposed to come out today. I haven't heard anything back, but as soon as that gets out, I'll...
This is to comply with the new rules.
With the new rules, because nobody understands what's going on. And I think every day I've been getting at least 5-6 emails from different physicians around asking like...
compliance, because it's retroactive.
And what they had asked me, if you would like to discuss, have any feedback, any concerns, once I transcribe the minutes, I'm going to be sending it to the legal team too, because they've been soliciting comments from everyone. And that letter came from a lot of comments that everyone has shared. So that's it, and I will let everyone know what's going on.
Okay, on the phone, Sarah or Kate, do you guys have anything you'd like to bring up about the Board of Registration in Medicine updates?
It felt to me like most of that affected surgeons. I didn't see that it had a lot of effect on medical practices.
Actually, I read it to interpret that it's everything you do, and it's all inclusive.
Well, I've been doing EMGs for 40 years, never had an informed consent. I would tell them everything, but I didn't document it. Now I'm doing it to save myself. But what I do is I usually tell the patients this is and sensory. And don't worry about it. I haven't lost a patient yet.
I think it's the delegation of services that's the biggest concern. And I was looking, because I use 2 medical assistants in my office, and one's been working in urology for more than 30 years, the other one for 10 years. And these are highly trained individuals who know exactly what to do with the things that I've asked them to do in the office. So I said, well, what do they do that we don't ask our patients to do at home? And I really couldn't think of anything.
This is Maria.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Sorry to join a little late. I just came back from the hospital.
Thanks, Maya.
So I said that the patients, we ask patients to catheterize themselves at home. So why can't the medical assistants catheterize people in the office? Patients take their own blood pressure at home. Why can't they take blood pressures? The patients take their own temperature. Why can't they take temperature? Patients use suppositories, vaginal inserts, other kinds of things. Why can't the medical assistant do these kinds of things? So patients have to inject themselves. We teach them how to inject several different places. Hi. So why not teach them how to do these kinds of things as well? And the medical assistants are proficient at all these things. So I don't see the fact that they are not a licensed person. They're someone who's been through a training program. They should be able to be trained to our satisfaction to do whatever they need to do. I think it was a huge overreach by the board. I think it's outrageous that they ignored the Mass Medical Society input, and there are no guidelines to go along with this. So I actually wrote those things down, and I sent them over to our person who's going over there, and he thought that the things that I had pointed out were definitely within the spirit of what the board was trying to create, that there shouldn't be any problem in continuing to do that stuff. So I haven't changed my practices. No, I've already got consents for everything that I do. The one difference I saw was, as far as the surgeon's perspective, is that we have to list everybody who's going to be in on the operation on the consent form. I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea, but I do think that in the academic centers it's going to limit the role of residents and medical students in being able to gain learning. For me, it's not so bad because it's going to be me and a PA, or me and nobody. So I don't really have to list a lot of people on that consent form, but they will.
This is Frank McMillan. Can I chime in for a second?
Hi, Frank. Go ahead.
Yeah, my concern is, I do a lot of informed consent, but most of my informed consents are now out of state. But one of the things that I still maintain a Massachusetts license, and I do basically locum tenens in Massachusetts. And one of the concerns that I have is that the requirement that I participate in Mass Health. And it's not just for locum tenens, but it's one particular need among physicians who hold multiple state licenses, to not only just credential with the state medical board, but to credential with the state welfare provider. It's an onerous requirement, and my license is coming up for renewal in January 2020, and I'm kind of on the fence as to whether I'm going to renew it or not. It's a concern. There are other physicians who don't have patient contacts who still have to credential with Mass Health, even though they don't bill Mass Health. They don't have to sign contracts, but it's just extra work, and it's just not a well thought out thing. And it's just on a philosophical standpoint, to require everybody to take the state welfare reimbursement rates. It's against personal freedom. So I think that I don't know what's been said or done. It's probably not the highest priority of the medical society. But what they're going to do is they're going to lose a lot of valuable physicians who maybe be multi-state license holders and just say, screw it. It's just not worth it. There's plenty of other states with employment opportunities.
Thank you, Frank.
Tagging on to what Frank just said, we have a really hard time recruiting doctors to the state and keeping them in the state. So anything that chases them away is just really sad.
Thank you, Kate. And Kate, just to get back to what you said about applying to surgeons, I actually took it as whether you're a surgeon or not, if you're doing a procedure in your office, if you're taking a mold, off of somebody and you're doing a biopsy, I took it as it's invasive and I need to get a full consent. A lot of these things I get verbal consents on, so I took it as...
We've always gotten a consent in any procedure we've done anyway, so that hasn't been a problem. But really, the way I read it, I really did read it as for surgeons. Unless you're and say, well, this doesn't pertain to me. But,
so clearly it seems like we need a little bit of clarity there, too.
I don't think we'll find any surgeons of good moral character, so that means all surgeons have to leave Massachusetts.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I actually had a couple of doctors write to me about this statement about the good moral character. Can you just scroll down, please, son, and look at that? Or scroll up, sorry.
Is that some kind of?
Is that new language?
Is that new?
No, that's old.
I mean, I was going to say, I mean,
That's
that language,
100-year-old language.
that language sounds like it's like 100 years old. I mean,